Once upon a time in a faraway land, there was a kind and beautiful girl named Cinderella. She lived with her wicked stepmother and two cruel stepsisters who treated her terribly. They forced her to do all the household chores, while they enjoyed a life of luxury. Despite her hardships, Cinderella remained gentle and kind-hearted. Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters were jealous of her beauty and grace. They made her wear rags, and they gave her the worst tasks in the house, such as scrubbing the floors, cleaning the fireplace, and cooking their meals. Cinderella's only companions were the animals in the house, particularly the mice and birds, who loved her dearly. One day, an announcement arrived from the palace. The king was holding a grand ball in honor of the prince, and all the young ladies in the kingdom were invited. The prince was of age to marry, and the king hoped he would find a bride at the ball. Cinderella's stepsisters were thrilled and spent days preparing their finest gowns and accessories. Cinderella also wanted to go to the ball, but her stepmother sneered at the idea. "You," the stepmother mocked, "a dirty little servant girl at the ball? Impossible." However, Cinderella continued to dream about attending the ball. On the night of the ball, after her stepsisters had left, Cinderella sat by the fireplace, crying softly. Suddenly, her fairy godmother appeared. She was a kind old woman who had been watching over Cinderella all these years. "Why are you crying, my dear?" asked the fairy godmother. "I wish to go to the ball," Cinderella replied, "but I have nothing to wear and no way to get there." "Don't worry," said the fairy godmother. "You shall go to the ball." With a wave of her wand, she transformed Cinderella's ragged clothes into a beautiful gown of silver and gold, adorned with sparkling jewels. On her feet appeared a pair of delicate glass slippers. But Cinderella still had no way to get to the ball. The fairy godmother looked around and saw a pumpkin in the garden. With another wave of her wand, she turned the pumpkin into a magnificent golden carriage. Next, she transformed 4 mice into 4 splendid white horses, a rat into a coachman, and 6 lizards into footmen. "Now you can go to the ball," said the fairy godmother. "But remember, my magic will only last until midnight. You must return home before the clock strikes 12. Cinderella arrived at the palace, and her beauty captivated everyone, including the prince. He could not take his eyes off her and spent the entire evening dancing with her. Cinderella was so happy that she forgot the fairy godmother's warning. Suddenly, the clock began to strike midnight. Realizing the time, Cinderella panicked and fled the palace, leaving behind one of her glass slippers on the steps. She raced home as fast as she could, and just as the clock struck 12, the magic wore off. Her beautiful gown turned back into rags, the carriage became a pumpkin, and the horses, coachmen, and footmen returned to their original forms. However, the glass slipper remained as a token of the magical night. The prince was determined to find the mysterious girl who had stolen his heart. He picked up the glass slipper and declared that he would marry the girl whose foot fit the slipper. He sent his courtiers throughout the kingdom to find her. The courtiers visited every house, and many ladies tried on the slipper, but it did not fit anyone. Eventually, they arrived at Cinderella's house. Her stepsisters tried on the slipper, but their feet were too large. Then Cinderella asked if she could try it on,